Dubai spent 30 years building the world's most powerful aviation hub. Now Saudi Arabia is trying to replace it, and it is willing to spend more than $120 billion to do it. Not $12 billion, not $20 billion, more than $120 billion. A new airline, a new mega airport, a new tourism industry, an entirely new aviation system designed to capture the same passengers that made Dubai rich. Because for decades, Dubai controlled one of the most valuable businesses in transportation: connecting passengers. Every day, millions of travelers fly between Europe, Asia, and Africa. And for years, many of them passed through Dubai. They changed planes. They bought food, they stayed in hotels, they shopped in duty-free stores, and every one of those activities generated money, lots of money. Over time, Dubai transformed itself from a relatively small Gulf city into one of the most important aviation hubs on Earth. By 2025, Dubai International Airport handled more than 95 million passengers. Emirates generated more than $41 billion in revenue. Profit exceeded $6 billion. For years, the model looked almost unbeatable. Then Saudi Arabia started asking a dangerous question. Why should Dubai get all of that traffic? After all, Saudi Arabia sits in almost the same part of the world. It also lies between Europe, Asia, and Africa. It also has access to massive international travel flows. And unlike Dubai, Saudi Arabia has a population of roughly 36 million people, more than 3 times larger than the UAE. Suddenly, the kingdom realized something. Dubai's greatest strength could also become an opportunity. Because if Dubai became rich from connecting passengers, perhaps Saudi Arabia could too. And that realization would trigger one of the largest aviation investment programs in modern history. The first move was an airline, but not just any airline, an airline built specifically to challenge Emirates. For years, Dubai's aviation empire revolved around one company, Emirates. The airline wasn't just transporting passengers, it was feeding an entire economic machine. Passengers arrived in Dubai, they connected onto another flight. They spent money inside the airport. Some spent money inside the city. The airline generated revenue. The airport generated revenue. The entire system worked together. Saudi Arabia understood that if it wanted to challenge Dubai, it needed its own version of that machine. That realization led to Riyadh Air. When the airline was unveiled in 2023, many people dismissed it. The Gulf already had airlines. Saudi Arabia already had Saudia. Why launch another one? The answer becomes obvious when you look at the scale of the project. Riyadh Air wasn't designed to be a regional airline. It wasn't designed to fly a handful of routes. It was designed to become a global hub carrier, a direct competitor to Emirates, and the spending started immediately. The airline ordered 39 Boeing Dreamliners, then 60 Airbus A321neos, then another 25 Airbus A350s, more than 120 aircraft in total. At list prices, those orders are worth more than $28 billion. Many national airlines operate smaller fleets. Riyadh Air ordered more aircraft than some established carriers own, before carrying a single passenger. That tells you everything you need to know. This is not a normal airline startup. It is a national project. And unlike most startups, Riyadh Air has access to something incredibly powerful: oil money. Most airlines must grow carefully. Every route needs to make sense. Every aircraft must eventually pay for itself. Saudi Arabia can think differently. The country's public investment fund controls hundreds of billions of dollars in assets. That financial firepower allows the kingdom to invest on a scale very few competitors can match. And Riyadh Air is only the beginning. Because airlines alone do not create global hubs. For that, Saudi Arabia needed something even bigger. A new airport, a very big airport. One designed from the beginning to compete directly with Dubai. And its price tag is almost as shocking as Riyadh Air itself. In 2022, Saudi Arabia announced King Salman International Airport. The estimated cost? roughly $30 billion. $30 billion for a single airport. That is more than the annual revenue of many major airlines. And Saudi Arabia plans to spend it on one project. When complete, King Salman Airport is expected to handle up to 185 million passengers annually. 185 million. To understand how large that is, consider this. Dubai International currently handles around 95 million passengers. King Salman Airport is being built to eventually handle almost twice that number. The airport will feature 6 runways, massive cargo facilities, commercial districts, hotels, retail developments, and enough room for future expansion far beyond its initial phases. This is not an airport being built for today's demand. It is being built for traffic. Saudi Arabia hopes to capture tomorrow, and that traffic currently belongs to somebody else, Dubai. For decades, Dubai enjoyed a huge advantage. It built its hub before anyone else in the region fully understood how valuable connecting passengers would become. Emirates expanded, Dubai expanded, the network grew, the passengers followed. Saudi Arabia is now trying to compress 3 decades of development into less than 10 years. And it is using enormous amounts of money to do it. But what makes the challenge even more dangerous is where that money comes from. Saudi Arabia is financing much of this expansion with oil wealth. Oil revenues helped create the financial foundation behind Vision 2030. They help fund tourism projects, infrastructure projects, and aviation projects. That means Saudi Arabia can continue investing even when profits are years away. And from Dubai's perspective, that is a serious threat. Because Emirates has to earn its growth. Saudi Arabia can simply fund it, which explains why Dubai could not ignore the announcement. The moment Saudi Arabia revealed a $30 billion airport, Dubai had only 2 choices: accept the challenge or respond. It chose to respond, and it responded with an even bigger number. Saudi Arabia announced a $30 billion airport. Dubai responded with a $35 billion airport. That single fact tells you everything you need to know about this rivalry. Saudi Arabia wanted to build one of the largest airports on Earth. Dubai's response was simple. Fine, we'll build something bigger. The project is called Al Maktoum International Airport, and if completed as planned, it will become one of the largest aviation projects ever attempted. 5 runways, 400 aircraft gates, a planned capacity of 260 million passengers annually. 260 million. That number is difficult to comprehend. Today, no airport on Earth handles anywhere near that volume of traffic. Not Atlanta, not Heathrow, not Beijing, not even Dubai International itself. And that's what makes this battle so unusual. Neither side is building for today's market. They are building for a future they believe they can create. Saudi Arabia wants 185 million passengers. Dubai wants 260 million. Combined capacity? 445 million passengers, almost 500 million, and that's before including airports in Doha, Abu Dhabi, Kuwait or Bahrain. The Gulf is building aviation infrastructure on a scale the world has never seen before, which raises an obvious question. Where are all these passengers supposed to come from? Because eventually even the biggest ambitions collide with reality. And that's where this story becomes much more complicated, because the biggest threat facing both projects may not be each other. It may be mathematics. For years, growth solved almost every problem in aviation. More passengers, more routes, more aircraft, more airports. As long as traffic kept growing, everyone could win. Dubai grew, Doha grew, Istanbul grew, the market became larger. But Saudi Arabia's challenge changes the equation. Because Saudi Arabia is not creating an entirely new market. It is targeting an existing one, a market that Dubai already dominates. Think about a passenger flying from London to Bangkok. 20 years ago, that passenger might have connected through Dubai. Tomorrow, that same passenger could connect through Riyadh. The passenger hasn't disappeared. The market hasn't grown. The traffic has simply moved. And if that happens millions of times every year, the consequences become enormous. A small shift in passenger behavior can translate into billions of dollars. Billions in airline revenue, billions in airport revenue, billions in tourism spending. This is why both countries are investing so aggressively. Neither wants to lose those passengers, because once travelers change habits, winning them back becomes extremely difficult. And that's why the numbers become so important. Saudi Arabia wants to attract 330 million air passengers annually by 2030. Dubai is building capacity for 260 million. King Salman Airport is building capacity for 185 million. Together, the numbers become staggering. The challenge isn't building airports, the challenge is filling them. There are only so many people flying between Europe and Asia, only so many people flying between North America and India, only so many people connecting between Africa and East Asia. The transit market is enormous, but it isn't infinite, which means that eventually somebody will have to take market share from somebody else. And that is exactly why Dubai is taking Saudi Arabia so seriously, because for the first time in decades, a rival has appeared with enough money, enough ambition, and enough scale to challenge its dominance. And that brings us to the most important question: who wins? On paper, Saudi Arabia looks incredibly powerful. A larger population, a larger domestic market, hundreds of billions of dollars in financial resources, the ability to fund airlines, airports, and infrastructure projects on a massive scale. But Dubai still possesses something Saudi Arabia cannot instantly buy: experience. Emirates has spent decades building one of the most efficient airline networks on Earth. Millions of passengers already trust the brand. Thousands of flights already connect through Dubai every week. The infrastructure exists, the partnerships exist, the reputation exists, the machine already works. Saudi Arabia is still building its version. That doesn't mean Dubai is safe. Far from it. Saudi Arabia may not need to completely replace Dubai to succeed. It may simply need to capture enough traffic to weaken Dubai's dominance. And that may be a far more realistic goal. Because dominant hubs rarely disappear overnight. They lose influence gradually, one route at a time, one airline at a time, one passenger at a time. The next decade will determine whether Dubai remains the undisputed aviation capital of the Gulf, or whether Riyadh succeeds in building a rival powerful enough to reshape global aviation. Dubai built the empire. Saudi Arabia is coming for it, and neither side intends to back down. Thank you for watching this video. If you like this video, do not forget to like and subscribe. Take care.